Okay, everybody, hello. Super Happy Dragon Lucky episode 1C. Good to see everybody, and I have a few things to go over, and then we can do, the regular AMA stuff if you want. I have about 30 minutes before I have to cut off. First thing to note, we're getting a lot of stuff going on Den. The entity will actually be spun off pretty soon, and we'll have a good management structure that will be completely independent, separate from Dragonchain, and that will that'll be nice because we'll be able to focus on some things over there that are separate. Dragonchain obviously still involved. We still have devs that will be working on it, and we'll have to figure out how we're going to keep everything up to date. But we'll introduce that team soon, and with that comes hopefully we'll have lore and lot contracts deployed soon, and thereafter we'll have lore voting for the lair creation process. I want to get all of the lot out for the lairs that are there. We just had a lair creation process, and if I remember correctly, in no certain order, we had gaming, and we had politics, and we had introduce yourself, which would be three pretty valuable layers. So we would see new people coming into the introduce yourself layer, and basically describing who they are and everything else, which will be a good intro to using the system, and to also getting hopefully some early energy and matter. So that's all good. Lots of exciting stuff going on there. Do try to keep posting content there, and reporting bugs and everything else. We do have a pass through. I wanted to do it earlier in the week, but it looks like it'll probably be end of week or beginning of next week that we'll go through the UI and try to fine tune a couple there are a lot of little things that you guys have probably seen we need to fix. There's a bug on mobile. There's some view changes we want to make. We also have listened. We got a lot of feedback about the view tabs, and what we're going to do, we think, is replace the tabs with switches, so that the two main configurations with 4 states total were whether or not you want to see replies, and whether or not you want to view trending or just chronological posts. So we think we're going to make 2 switches and make them sticky so that you can kind of set them to what you want, and it'll be consistent. So that'll be really useful for me. I think other people have said the same. Otherwise, we're Dragonchain core. We're continuing forward. We have lots of discussions ongoing, which would be normal adoption, normal contract things, and that would include some work that would be consultation and services, but then also operational systems. So lots of neat stuff there. Trying to think what else I can tell you about. We have, of course, some marketing rolling out. Looks like somewhere after the middle of March, we have some bigger marketing things going. We have hopefully something going on for the announcement of Den, which will be really, of course, it'll be a mix of Dragonchain and Den. Working on that, and hopefully all that's set. We're getting final dates and times, I think tomorrow. So there's a lot going on there. So if and I might come up something I've forgotten to tell you, but if you guys want to start throwing questions out, I wanted to thanks Crypto Clown for the comment. people are horrible. Let's see here. And by the way, I think apologies if there's been any offense, but people have commented on my political crypto Twitter posts. So apologies. I'm just tired of all of the negativity and stuff, and so some of that's just for fun. But anyway, let's see here. Is there from Iron Man ICO? Is there a possibility that Dragonchain could get bought out by Amazon? Anything's possible. I wouldn't hold out hope for that, but you never know, right? I mean, they're local. Maybe it's a silly answer, but interesting either way. Let's see here. Kristaps Vindbergs. Any new customers that are using the Dragonchain platform? In the past week, no. We do have people that we know. In the past week, at least a couple that we know will be customers that are just starting to talk to us about what precisely they need built and whether they will build it or whether we will build it. And I know we have one contract that is supposed to be signed this week. Hopefully, it will be, as long as all the details work out. That will be real revenue. And a really good application, something that will be, I know will be announced, and probably soon. I don't know what. I'll ask about that too, but that'll be good, right? Let's see here. Investor Milton, marketing is needed. Take advantage of this market right now. It's like, yeah, what would you have us do? We cut through the noise, and you all complain. Not all of you, right? All of crypto Twitter complains when we cut through the noise with something that is a legitimate technology announcement. Look at some of my tweets lately, back and forth with a couple of the trolls, and it is. I will answer trolls when there is, or seeming trolls when there is an actual reason, if there is actual information that should be out there, because sometimes it converts them. Sometimes they have no idea and they just had a bad day or something, and they don't have they don't have any other way to get it out, I guess. So one way or another, sometimes it's worth answering them, but other times they're paid trolls, and it's meaningless. And you can kind of tell by the questions, if there's even a hint of a real question behind what they're asking, it sometimes is worth talking to them. Let's see here. Thanks, Crypto Clown. Let's see here. Okay, Matt was. I was about to say that the Twitter posts are a bad look. It's like you probably disagree politically, and I would not complain, nor do I when other people make political comments on Twitter that I disagree with. Right? It's free speech, and it's whatever it is. And if you notice, whether you disagree or not, most everything that I post does have a basis in liberty, right? So that's the one thing that sometimes doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but this whole technology is about liberty. Bitcoin itself, of course, liberty with real money, and everything else that I post has some tinge of that, either censorship, liberty, that whole theme. It's a common thing, and it's real, and that's what all of those are about. Bad look or not, lots of things in the world are bad look, and if it doesn't mean you don't comment on them, doesn't mean that everybody has to agree with me. So whatever. Apologies, Matt. Let's see here. Have I heard of strong block? No. How decentralized is DRG? If you mean Dragon, can it be shut down? Well, it's open source, so parts of it theoretically could be shut down temporarily, but that's the nature of a hybrid blockchain, and that's the architecture itself is intended to allow a business to easily leverage the full decentralization. So when I say that, we are legitimately and literally hybrid, that we do have components that are purposely centralized in architecture and components that are radically decentralized in architecture. So the whole point of what we do is that our controlled centralized portion is can be run on the customer's own servers in their own data center. So that can't be shut down. The verification network is managed by us, but the nodes themselves are not, right? Or at least most of them are unmanaged, decentralized out there, owned by other people. And that's the point of it, so that you can get really quick, moderate decentralization and notary and other contexts of verification. But then in the end, that you can get the full decentralization of Bitcoin, Ethereum Classic, Binance, and more, right? That's the real point of it, because you have the measurable proof that you get on those public networks, but you have before that really rapid decentralization to other nodes. So let's say you're running a syslog server. The whole point of it, syslog ng or something, is that all of my servers, even if they were compromised, are logging to another server that the attacker would also have to compromise in order to wipe the evidence. And if you replaced that with a decentralized logging, where it would immediately go onto a Dragonchain node, and that would then within seconds be on multiple other nodes that you definitely wouldn't have access to. Even the company that's being attacked doesn't have access to. So it makes it really hard for someone to compromise that system and wipe the evidence that they've installed a rootkit or whatever. And in time, it'll end up on Bitcoin, so that you can go back and audit your logs and make sure, okay, all of these things are all valid signatures, and all the way up the chain. So anyway, interesting stuff. Let's see here. And that was Lorenzo Guild. Sorry, I didn't say a name. Arturo Almaguer just hit the sensitive beings with the classic. I did not mean to offend you. Major pain. Sorry. Major pain. There's some quotes from that I used to know. Let's see here. Mike Yanutsi, how is the documentary series going? Is filming all done? I'm not the best to know the production side of it, but if I understand correctly, 90% of the material is done. There is still a lot of script work and a lot of editing, and I know they're going to need to film more. Right? It just depends on how some of the things go. They're going to add stuff, especially as events come up with Den and with other things going on right now, and then also with even Dragonscale. We're hoping to get some pieces in there for all of the things that are going on. So it'll be stuff from the past, and it'll be stuff that's happening right now. And by the way, that's one more thing I did not say anything about. We are working, and we're made one more step in the right direction of progress for the European version of Dragonscale, and it looks like it'll be. I can't announce anything yet, but it looks like it'll be simpler than even what the white paper describes for the capability with the Kipu and the coupons and the devotion. That it looks like it'll be simpler model even than that. What will be happening over there? So we'll see, and hopefully we'll be able to announce that soon. I have to wait until everything's kind of in place. So let's see here. Tenacious Dragon, will the flags in Den make a comeback? Was a cool way to know for sure who was who. Absolutely. We haven't had time to address it, but the point is, what we really want is to be able to have a profile picture that you can choose, so you can have some creativity, some input in there, but then probably right next to it, have have the flag. And the problem is two circles next to each other. Designs kind of a flipping circle is not good enough because the flag, you need to see the flag without any effort to know that the person is not a fake version of whoever they say they are. So yes, those will be in there. And in time, there will also be the public key tied to Dragon Factor and everything else. So all of that will be in there. And in particular, the work that we're doing with CreatorWorks to integrate the creators, the influencers that will be coming in are very much about profile control, proof of who you are, being able to sign things, and having all of your content licensed. That is, you own it. It has to be licensed for everyone to see it if it's any of the main public channels. So we have to figure out what license it'll be and whether we will let you change the license. But and maybe it's open source. But either way, you will own it, and that'll be pretty amazing. Let's see here. Investor Milton, do you need any consultants? I have a great network of high value influencers in this place. Absolutely. Especially from community. We love to take community members on and see what can be done, because the networks, we're just here in Seattle, Bellevue, and in North South Carolina and Canada. So it's like there's so much out there that we can't touch. And if you have ideas, let us know. Ping me either on Telegram or Slack, and or anywhere. But and we can get a call or wherever it makes sense. Let's see here. When is Den Mobile released? I lost my place. Sorry about that. Darn it. I'm sorry. Wow, too many questions. Oh yeah, I want to go faster, aren't I? We don't have a date on it. We're trying to get everything else, or we had it started. I still have to talk to the team about a couple of things, because mobile is always kind of risky because it takes so long to do anything. But it is a huge, important priority though. So just know that. Let's see here. Kristaps Vindbergs. Any plans to bring more liquidity to Dragon on the open market, such as trying to get Dragon on the larger exchanges? We have a long-standing, since Zero, we have a long-standing legal guidance that says we cannot, among other things, that says that we cannot solicit exchanges. We could theoretically work through a third party, but I don't want to worry about that right now, because it's not worth the legal, and it's not worth upsetting or tinging any of the regulators to worry about something. So it's out there. I don't think liquidity is really the biggest problem. We have incentives against liquidity because volatility and everything else. But it's anyway. You can look at the history. What happened on Ether Delta before even KuCoin was added dragons, that you can look at what happened even there, that to know that that's not really the big part of it. I think it's mostly bear versus bull market. So okay, anyway, let's see. Yes, John Delancey, there is still a bounty and referral program for leads. That's out there, and we can customize it. We can do lots of other things, but let us know if you have anything. Let's see here. WVM, I applied for Dragonchain and have not heard anything back. Would like to check it out. It's been a long while now. What's going on with that? You might have gotten in at the last part. We could ask someone. Maybe you got in before the form was closed or something else, but it's public now, so you can go sign up and just get moving. Let's see here. And by the way, we should have 3 new layers out gosh, I'm hoping I'll talk to the devs. I'm hoping to get them out this week, but worst case it would be next week at the very beginning. So let's see here. Okay, Stefano Lanzaro, what is in your opinion the killer app that will drive the Dragonchain adoption? It could be anything, but incentives seem to be a very powerful consideration, and identity, right? So we're hoping Factor. Obviously, we put a big stake in Den, and we've gotten a partner that we know will help us scale that, both in development, implementation itself, but also in adoption. That there's a lot to do, obviously, but I think they're the perfect partner to bring the adoption and to handle the marketing and what's really needed to roll something like that out, consumer facing. So let's see here. Tenacious Dragon, can I tell everyone to follow Global News Archive? Absolutely. It's actually very awesome, and we want to make sure that people know that it's a team that is independent of Dragonchain. I'm informally, helping them wherever I can, but they're doing a lot, and I believe that they're going to try to build out some automation for it. And it is not a politically driven a group. It is very much about anti-censorship and trying to capture stuff that very well could be censored. So it would tend to be controversial items. Not always, but a lot of times. And I think they're going to add a lot of different types of feeds to it. So, okay, WVM, what is the Twitter everyone is talking about with your politics? Just search for Joe Roats or Joe Row, J0, J0, R0. And you can see some of the most brilliant and hilarious tweetering out there. So hopefully it's appreciated. It's in the very least something that I can get my mind clear in the evening. So just take it as that, and pretend like I'm not Dragonchain, and see how you like it. Let's see here. See here, JAP Cams 123. Are you more active in Den now than Telegram? Telegram, I still try to answer small amounts, but I'm trying to move over, and in time I'll probably be answering everything in Den and then forwarding the link. And I'm still trying to figure out how best I want to do that. But in the very least, any major post, likely any major announcement will be on Den first. It might end up on the blog site, on the blog later. But Den will end up being potentially integrated in as the site and forum into the actual website. And we do have a decent number of people that are interested in doing that with their own sites or with their own communities. So that should probably be in the end a pretty good B2B application for it. Okay, so I have about 6 minutes left. Let's see here. Arturo Almagur, how is Dragonchain making payroll? We have money in the bank, so we're making payroll. Let's see here, WVM. Okay, wait a minute. That was already asked. All right, Crypto Clown, what do you think about Disney using another blockchain company for its services? Are they? I don't know. I don't pay attention to that. And I know they had the one blockchain that a few people that tried to get us involved with, and it didn't make a lot of sense. But I don't even remember that, and I don't even know that they're still using it. But the most recent was something that looked like it was a card game or something like that, and I know nothing about it. So I don't think anything about it, actually. Let's see here, Crypto Clown. Let's see, what blockchain company is Disney using? Okay, so you ask each other questions too. Let's see here. Demian Capitan, customers right now, can they buy Dragon at Takara? Yes, and it's been that way for quite a while, that they can basically come in and put in a credit card or Dragons and launch a node, launch services, and it could be verification node as well as business node or nodes. And they are charged monthly, and they're charged in dollars. We convert them to Dragons at the Takara rate, so on and so on. You all know the story. That's been going on for a long time. Let's see here. A lot of good answers to other people. I appreciate that. John Delancey. Let's see here. Sean Delargy, is pooled nodes still a thing? My account hasn't received any Dragon since November, and I'm top 100 as far as time dedicated. You might check that you're still on there. We had a couple of changes with the pooled nodes. I'm trying to remember the details. I know we limited the amount of time, and I think we automatically pushed everyone to it. And I believe it's 25 million. It might have been 10 million, but I think it's 25 million max that could be applied on a pool, because the people that should have just been running their own nodes because they have enough time were putting it all in the pool. So basically anyone in the pool wasn't able to make very much at all, because there were billions of time attached. So one way or another, there's still a large amount of time attached to those pooled nodes, and we did also open up a special node for the Dragonchain winners that they could pool their time there, and we also opened up the ability for them to apply for level 4s. And I believe I owe one of our guys details for a form of what information we need for you to run a level 4. So I hopefully we'll get that out this week to him, and then it'll all be opened up. Let's see here. Is Dragonchain getting involved with NFT/collectibles? Seems like connections with Disney Marvel would be a great fit. Irrespective of Disney Marvel, the NFT, we have someone that is building something on Dragonchain that had an interest in and was working on a Dragonchain NFT that we could potentially roll into a standard, but it's all doable. In fact, it's pretty radically simple. Even with Eternal, you could consider, although not transferable, since it's non-fungible, it's a unique element. So any transaction would fit, but we would have to have some ability to transfer ownership. So relatively simple. And yes, and I have some interest. There are a couple of projects that I'm trying to see if we can get someone to build out that would hit that. We also will have NFT secured with, I believe, 1155 on Ethereum, but we will have a component inside Dragonchain that matches up with that. So yeah, there's a lot going on in there with NFT. Yes, Coca-Cola, thank you. Do like the I'm gonna like it right now. And do click the like, do subscribe if you aren't, and we're going to keep doing these. I would like to start getting people on so we can have more of a discussion, maybe have something that's more interesting than me blathering on forever. But either way, thank you for watching. And let me know if I didn't answer any questions, because I think I lost my place in the chat there. It moved pretty quick right in the middle. If I missed something that's important, reach out either on Slack or Telegram or even Twitter, if it makes sense. Thanks a bunch, and we'll see you next week. Last thing, the much all of the drama last week about me rushing. Apologies, I did have a lot of stuff going on, and we were in the middle of moving everything out of the old office, and we had a lot of stuff at my house, and we're basically now figuring out where everything goes, and we have this new space, which we don't have the official office until I believe March 1, that it's occupied, but we're right now in a temp office that's it's a little ugly, but it works, and it's a place, and mostly we needed a place to be able to get together and to have meetings with customers. And we had about 2-week gap where we had intended and expected to have a place, and there was nothing available. So we're here now, and hopefully all of that drama and all of the impending doom can stop. So anyway, thanks a bunch, and we'll see you next week. Bye.